We're going to take a look at another problem that deals with on the homework, -5 squared. Now I'm also going to show you the differences between the problem that we just did, -9 squared with the parentheses, versus a -5 squared without the parentheses. So this one, what we're going to do is a -5 squared. Okay. Now, this is a very, very common misconception. Sure, you're squaring a negative. Okay, a negative times a negative is positive, so automatically we say 25. Okay, great, fantastic. Problem is, that is all wrong. That's the problem. Now, you probably wonder, why is it wrong? It goes against everything that I learned. The difference is the grouping. The only thing being squared here is just this 5. The square has nothing to do with this negative sign right here. So, if you feel this is a little bit better for you, hide that negative sign. So a 5 squared, well, we know that to be 25. We know that's 25. But now, take into account that negative. So that would be a -25. Another way to look at this, a -5 squared, well, that's the same thing as a -5 times a +5. Remember, the negative sign is not being multiplied twice because the square has nothing to do with the negative. Well, a -5 times a +5, well, that would be a -25. Kind of another way to look at it. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, the difference between this problem and the one we just did has to deal with the parentheses. The parentheses makes the difference. Like I said, this square applies to everything inside this parentheses, so it applies to also that negative sign. So that's why we take the negative sign and we multiply it by itself 2 times. And then a negative times negative is positive. However, the square is not being applied to the negative sign. It's only being applied to the 5. Okay, so that's why we can cover that up and do a 5 squared, which is 25. And then that negative sign comes on down for the ride. Now, the reason why I'm really kind of hammering this real quick is because, let's say if you have a calculator, and I want to do a -5 squared. So I'm going to hit this little square button. It gives me a +25. I put that on the test. It's going to be marked wrong. But you can't go back and say, well, the calculator told me this. Now you can't blame it on the calculator. The calculators assume you're putting in parentheses. Okay? They assume that you are already putting in parentheses. So you have to be very careful. Calculators can be misleading. So I just want to let you know about that ahead of time. Okay? As always, if you have any questions about that, please let me know.